Hello everyone, and welcome back to Jester Plays The Binding of Isaac. Today, let's do a Samson run. I don't know how this is gonna go, but hopefully I haven't played with Samson in a long while. But yeah, first thank you for clicking on the video. That I really appreciate it. And since yesterday we were talking about old television and how the evolution of that uh, television was, I got the idea of what about music, because that's another topic that's been that's changed to my life. I mean, I remember when I was a kid, we used to get this cassette tapes. And I don't know how familiar people will be with what a cassette is. And I know that most of people nowadays are like, yeah, I got my iPod, my Spotify, but back in the day we didn't really have that. Back in the day we used to go to the store, and I mean, first you will hear the song on the radio, and then you will be like, huh, I like that song. Let me go to the music store and get the cassette of it. And I know that, I mean, I'm just talking about my experience. I know people before me will be like, cassette tape? What do you mean, this giant disc that I can play? I know vinyls exist, but that was before my time. But anyway, I really liked that experience of back when I was a kid. My experience with cassettes is like, I remember there were like kind of chipmunk version of songs. It was just some people will put a high pitch tuner on the voice, and then they will just sing. And a lot of kids music, and you would just have to listen. There was you will listen to one side of the tape. The actual cassette will have the list of all the songs that it had, and then they would just listen. And if you wanted the song to play, if you wanted a specific song, you will need to like, or basically fast forward all the way. If the song that you wanted to listen was all the way to the back of the cassette, you will just need to fast forward all the way until you find your song. Then you will just play it. It was an interesting time. I remember I only bought one cassette during my time. It was the Shaggy. What was it called? I don't know. The one Shaggy cassette. I remember it was a yellow cover, but it had the, you know the song. It wasn't me. That song. And I had a blast listening to that song. There were a couple of songs on that disc that I used to listen. But that was the only one that I ever bought. And I remember I bought it on a weird, I don't know. It was on a flea market. It wasn't exactly like it was a new disc. So yeah. Then after, when I was in probably, yeah, I guess it will be like, before high school. I always forget what junior high, I guess that will be the time in American. When I was in junior high, the CDs started to pop out, and it was a wild ride, because yeah, it was like, okay, are you telling me that I just need to skip the song and that's it? I don't have to rewind all the cassettes so I can listen to that. And it was a wild time. You will just be like, okay, I want that song, and then you will just push 3 buttons and you are in track 4 now. Uh, it was interesting, but then when I was in high school, the portable version of that came out, and that was another ride because you will be like, I'm gonna take this too, because you can just grab some headphones and take the disc with you. I know the I did I have a tape Walkman, walk like the Sony Walkman? I think I did. But yeah, you can take your disc on the fly. Yes, you will need to be in a before it was before the, what do you call it? I don't know, the technology, so that if you bump the disc, it didn't skip. So you have to be really careful when you were walking to not bump into the Discmans, or else you would you will just the song will skip, or you will rewind. I don't remember how it used to work. And then they had the technology to buffer a little bit of the song, so that didn't happen, and that was another big revolution. And then I mean this has been it's been a wild ride for music, because I still remember my first MP3 player. This was even before the iPod. I remember I had this it was USB MP3 player, which it was 128 megabytes of storage. You could fit like almost, I don't know, 20 songs, maybe 10 songs, depending on the quality that you rip them off the CD. Oh yeah, because in order to have, we didn't have well, where I live, we didn't have any downloadable. I don't think I really had internet, like what we call now internet, until I was in maybe high school. Maybe, I don't know. It was we in Mexico we had really interesting history with internet, but that's another topic. But for music, you had to get a disc, put it on your PC, then with Windows Media Player, rip the songs out of the disc, and then you could put them on the MP3. And it was a gamble, where how much space it will. I think it depended on the length of the song. I don't really remember. But yeah, I used to have that MP3 player, and it was expensive back in the day. I mean, but the ability to just don't have to carry your Discman, don't have to carry your all the discs that you wanted to hear on the on your little baggie. I had a bag where you could just put the Discman and the disc, and that's what you used to play it. But yeah, the MP3 was a revolution, and it was awesome. And then you will just, and then after that, all the different type of Discman will come out. I mean, MP3 players will come out of different sizes, different capacities. Then the iPod came around. The iPod, when the iPod Touch came around, that was like a big thing. I remember for my maybe 18th birthday, my parents got me an iPod Touch, and it was pretty awesome. It was 8 gigs of memory, and you can play games on it. Oh yeah, that also reminds me of my time with my first cell phone. Back in the day, cell phones were mostly strictly for calling. I mean, the media type of the cell phone wasn't as advanced before. So if you wanted a song, you would just need to record it with the like, I guess they made a function of the phone so you can take notes, like voice notes, and you would just a friend will play the song next to you and you will record it, and that way you can play it later. But that was that was obviously not the purpose that it was meant to be. But that's how we did it back in the day. And then the Sony came out with the Sony Ericsson came out. They came out with that, and now you can have actual songs on the. It was a limited storage back in the day, but now you could have actual songs on your phone meant to be there. What else we have back in the day? It's just awesome remembering all these things for you guys, and I know some of the people listening will remember a lot of them. And what was this? And then the whole Napster / Ares / LimeWire, all those kind of sites pop out, the torrent sites and all that. It was, and then you could just go to a website and find the song that you wanted. And sometimes it wasn't the song, sometimes it was some remix, sometimes it was, let's just say, a not legitimate copy of that song. But hey, if you don't tell, I won't tell. Yeah, that's basically my evolution of how music. You can listen to music from my childhood to now. So now you can just buy a phone, has 512 or maybe a terabyte of space in memory. You know, it's just crazy. You can have all your songs on. You can just get YouTube Music, and then you don't have to store any of your songs on your phone. You can just play them on the cloud, basically, through the internet. What else? Well, and with that, also the different genres and different like eras of music travel with or will change during the time. Because I remember when I was a kid, I'm a 90s kid. I was born in 1990, so a lot of my experience with music started with 90s music. You know, well, in Mexico, there's regional songs that's where my parents used to listen, and I don't know if many of you guys will know it, but it's called banda. It's called, I don't know, northern music. It's the country music for you guys, but for me it was that. So that's what I knew growing up, and then well, obviously all the pop songs that they've been around forever. I remember when my cousins used to be around at the house, and they grew up in America, so they brought all their English music to the house. That's mainly the reason why I know English now, because they used to go to the house and talk English and watch shows in English. So I was really exposed to the language, and it was cool. I'm to this day I'm glad that they stuck around and they actually lived with us for a while. So I was able to get that interest and then actually learn it mostly on my own. I used to just listen to, and being in right here in Tijuana it was an advantage because I had access to English radio. So that way it was really easy for me to just tune on the radio and listen to the different songs, and then maybe ask my cousins. Oh, this. I'm sorry for the mouse pointer. I don't know how long that's been. I think that's been the whole video. Um, what was I saying? I got distracted by the mouse pointer. Oh yeah, learning English. I had really access to the radio and all the English shows. So, but yeah, I remember when the 2000s came around, it was all NSYNC. It was all what else? NSYNC, Backstreet Boys, all the boy bands that Hanson, I guess. All those songs that came around and with the pop music boom and all the, I don't know. I wasn't really, that wasn't really the music that I listened, but since my sister and everyone around me listened to that, well, I got to experience it. And then, well, as I was growing up, I got more interested. When I was in high school and college, I was more into, rock kind of type. I don't know if it counts as rock, but I was into System of a Down. I was into Rammstein. It was on my edgy times. It was fun. I won't deny that it was fun, even though it was a little bit edgy, but I really like that music. And then right now I'm kind of confused about what kids listen nowadays. It's been an interesting time to be an adult. Like, maybe this is what my parents felt back in the day about the music that I listened, which they never had an issue with it. I still remember they let me pretty much listen to what I wanted. It wasn't like a you can't listen to X or whatever. So I had a lot of liberty in that aspect. But yeah, it's been a wild ride to listen to some of the songs that they came up with these days. And I know this is the get off my lawn kind of moment. It's just I just admit that the times have changed and they pass me by, and I gotta admit that, well, kids these days are kids. There's not a lot that I can do about it. Yeah, I would like to know your thoughts on what you guys used to listen before, what you guys listen now. Because now I just pop up my YouTube music playlist and listen to that. And it's fun. I mean, I can listen to all the music before me. I can listen to all the music now. I don't really get the music that they listen now, but I listen to it. At least I give it a shot. Yeah, tell me guys about your taste in music. Recommend me some songs, because I always have that issue that I don't have nothing to listen anymore. So yeah, please recommend me some songs and tell me about how you guys feel music growing up. Alright, thanks for watching. I'll see you guys tomorrow.